Hello and happiest of days to each of you folks. I hope you guys are having an absolutely fantastic day today. So for today on Serial Saturday, we should dedicate to the forgotten serial tellings, stories of movie serials and TV serials too, and that sort of a thing. I'm doing my next review with the first Zorro serial and that sort of a thing. Now I have this new phone like I've talked about before, and now I got my notes. It's like 4 pages. Normally these are like 2, but there's more stuff here we're going to be talking about. And that sort of stuff. So just a heads up in case you see me looking down or losing my place because, this is a big giant chunky phone that I got. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and get started. So this is the first Zorro serial. It's from 1937. It's called Zorro Rides Again. It's based on the popular and beloved and set in Mexico and America too. It's made by Republic. It's 12 episodes long, and it's about 212 minutes long, right? So it's about 3.5 hours. It stars as Zorro, John Carroll, and then as his love interest and and he is a majority shareholder and is in the company of trains that his grandfather founded. And the minority stockholders are the love interest of Helen Christian, who plays Joy Sanders, and then as her brother Reed Howells is playing Philip Anders. Also stars as Ronaldo, who is the only one who knows the secret ID of Zorro. He's Duncan Ronaldo, and then also stars J.A. Marsden as Noah Beery Sr., and then as Brad L. Lobo Dace is Richard Alexander for you folks. It's directed by 2 people, William Whitney and John English for you folks. It's written by like a metric ton of people. They are Franklin Adrian, Morgan Cox, Ronald Davidson, John Rathnell, and Barry Shipman, just in case you care. So Zorro was the first masked vigilante, sort of had a secret identity. That sort of thing. He's heavily influential on things like Batman and that sort of thing, who are both men of money and that sort of thing, and orphaned and have had tragic pasts, right, too. So he's hugely influential on later stuff, too. So this serial is a combination of Western serials, uses Western serial motifs, as well as modern serials, and that sort of thing, because of the train parts too. It's also influenced by the singing cowboy trope that was popular right then in '37. After we saw him in the Phantom Empire, Gene Autry, the singing cowboy, do a lot of songs and that sort of a thing. Well, here you're going to have some singing, boys and that sort of thing too. All right, so here in the plot in the first episode of Spoilers After That, our evil villain is J.A. Marsden. He's trying to take over. Take over. There's no C for that word. Take over the California Yucatan Railroad, which forces our character to don the older hero's masks of ID of Zorro, and that was his grandfather, the one who founded the company too. All right, so now let's move to my first my notes that makes this a little different. All right, so here I have a few main issues with this. Just the first one that I noticed is that in the opening credits, listed right there on screen is the eternal friendship that it says the us and the Mexicans have with the Americans, that sort of a thing. And it's been despite the occasional guys in here and there that are bad guys here, but we are all great people and great friends, and that sort of thing. And in 37 even, that feels like a hand waving and a sanitizing over the Mexican-American War, right? Which is where we fought their land for slave states because we wanted to push it and increase our slavery in the pre-Civil War era. Even that's a war about which it was a total land grab. We took like half their land. Even Ulysses S. Grant, who fought in that war, the general who won the Civil War, he says it's one of the worst wars fought by a bigger power on a neighboring smaller power in the pursuit of land. Right, it's a total land grab. So that's a lot then. Yeah, all right. Now, this actually did happen sometimes at this time. This is, for example, the time when things were made that whitewashed slavery. They said, they didn't treat them that badly. They taught them Christianity, so they were very nice to them. And the Civil War was about slavery, even though we had total proof Not that all those things were not great, right? And that sort of a thing. And a lot of whitewashing was going on then too, so it wouldn't be a surprise that it was also doing for the Mexican-American War. Both are wrong. No question. We were the bad guys with slavery. We were the bad guys in the Mexican-American War too. All right, so in the mind of the serial, though, going back to the serial, this is a faster 12 episodes. They have solid cliffhangers, and then they avoid some seriousness. But it's weird sword. But the problem is that Zorro uses guns and not. He uses 2 guns and not a sword, and that's a little weird. Interesting. It's a weird take. And then the stuff with the Mexican-American War getting whitewashed is also weird too. You sort of have to accept it, and that sort of thing. So I'm between a 7 and a 9. I think if you just looked at the serial, great actions, great cliffhangers, very fast stuff, it would be a 9 out of 10. But with all those extra things that get added, like the weird Zorros that's not very canonical and deviates from this beloved character and that sort of thing, that would, and then also the whitewashing and hand waving. Oh, we didn't have a Mexican-American War; it wasn't that bad, and that sort of thing, right? So that would make it a 7. So I'm rounding those to an 8 and giving it an 8 out of 10 for you folks. And now we'll check out the next of the 5. This is the first of 5 movie serials that in Zorro that are done by Republic. So we'll start looking at the next of them next week and that sort of thing. But what did you think, right? Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Your opinion is just as valid as mine is. Remember, I am not a trained movie critic. I didn't train with movies or that sort of a thing. I'm not. I don't make them for professional stuff. Only my YouTube channel, and I don't even make money on there. Right? So, and I would consider that my profession anyway. So your opinion will be just as valid, right, as mine is. So again, I like to dedicate this day to the forgotten storytellings of serials and that sort of thing. So, for example, one of the things that's happening at this time in 37, it's kind of the peak. It's the beginning parts, and we've had it for a while, a couple of decades in the serials era. And that sort of thing. So basically the idea here is that, like I mentioned earlier, they really sort of sold seats and that sort of thing. They were sort of the water cooler talk, if you will, of the day. So one of the things that they would do is you would go and you wouldn't just see like a picture, like one movie, like you would see today, with a couple of shorts that were trailers, and that sort of a thing, and then you go home. Right, what you'd be doing instead, seeing these reels and those shorter cartoons and the occasional trailer or two, but they actually weren't that common back then. They were pretty pricey to produce, and then people would show up for a double feature. They would show up for a few shorts, and then they would show up for the A picture, and then they would finish with a serial. That would be the thing they would go to and then bring them back, and then they would go to have an intermission afterwards, like a half an hour or something. Afterwards, come back for another couple of shorts, then the B picture, often very, very short compared to modern movies. And then after the B picture, have another serial, maybe a short or two, and then they would head out. Again, that would be the serials. Would be. So those cliffhangers, and people would be talking about, how's this person going to survive this cliffhanger? I don't know. Let's check out next week. And that's how they sort of hooked them, right? So I'm sad that we've forgotten that, because that's definitely how we did it. I've done tons of serial reviews today. I've also done some TV serials too from the 60s in Doctor Who too. I've done the first 2 seasons. So check this out if that's something that you're passionate about. On Wednesday, I do older video game reviews. I'm currently doing the Baldur's Gate series. I just did Baldur's Gate 2. Next week I'll be doing Baldur's Gate 3, which is actually very recent, but you get the idea. In order to conclude it, sometimes I'll do the more recent stuff that have just been released. If I just put like maybe 40 or 80 hours into it, I did 2. But it goes through 2 a few months ago, last year. And then also 2 Point Museum a week or 2 afterwards, after about like 40 hours into it. So I had some things I had to say. I thought that'd be fun. But yeah, you can check it out. On Friday, I do top 10s of older things I've done. Typically, I've done top 10 films and that sort of thing. But yesterday, I did my top 10, my 5 favorite non-sci-fi shows from the 90s. So check it out too. I'm sure you'll like it, and that sort of thing. I also did my top 5 sci-fi films from last century. So it was a sci-fi shows from the last century. So I thought that would be a fun little follow-up. I've done my top 10. I've ranked all my recent Star Wars films, Star Trek shows, sort of thing. So you can check those out. And then on Monday, I do reviews of older things in the genres of for RPGs like Dungeons & Dragons, or I've actually reviewed the Middle-earth role-playing game too, from the early 80s, as well as things like the war games like BattleTech and stuff like that too. So you can check this out right now. I'm reviewing older older modules for the B series. I just did last week's is the one with Tracy and Laura Hickman. Put Tracy Hickman on the map in a major way, called Rahasia from AD4. You can check that out too. Also previously done recently things like Douglas Niles or Gary Gygax. Check this out. I think you'll enjoy that much. Alrighty, and then for the other 3 reviews a week that I do, they're older things in the 3 genres. We cover science fiction, fantasy, and horror for you folks. So if those 7 older things sound like you're passionate and your cup of tea just like mine, great. Welcome to the channel. Have a seat. Kick your shoes off. I think you'll enjoy your time. Right? Just do all the YouTube stuff, like hit the subscribe button, the like button, the bell icon, be notified of the videos that I post every week, and then also just share and watch. Those are the key ways to grow the channel. Alrighty, and so there you are. As you can tell from all those older things, that's the passion. It's also where the name even comes from. The worst thing about new books, although in this case films, but you get the idea, is that they keep us from reading the old ones. That's the quote by Jacques Joubert, a French philosopher. And so you get the idea. Right, and it's not that the new ones are bad, right? They aren't, but in our passion, right, for pursuing this new stuff, the new album from artists, the new movies, the new video games, the new novels, right, and that sort of a thing, we've sort of forgotten how great these challenges that they're standing on the shoulders of the giants and all the things that influence them. So check them out. Also, number 1 strength is context. On Strengths Quest, which is a personality type indicator, basically, and so it's all about appreciating something greater if I have it. And so, for example, I appreciate Star Wars more when I go check out Flash Gordon, Paul, that influenced it, right? And I can see all that influence, right, and such. So you can see that too. Make sense? All right. So that's your thing. Welcome to the channel. Do all that stuff. All right. And there you are. If you made it here to the end, I just want to thank you so very, very much for just taking some time out of your day and investing it, right, and watching my videos, because we all have so many things that are happening in our lives and we're pulled in so many different directions. So the fact that you spent this time with me, that's incredibly humbling, and I appreciate it so very, very much. So thanks again, and have an amazing day.